Hello, happy Fancast Friday, and welcome back to the Creative Differences podcast. I'm Dallas, and I want to see the "You've Never Had Black Lightning" scene in live action.
I hate you.
That just took us on a turn. I'm Colin, and I would like to know what the relationship is between two people who are the same person when they're a superhero, whatever the fuck. Like, that's got to be some weird invasive shit. Anyway, that's
well, you'll find out.
Yes.
And I'm Demi, and I am desperately hoping that the rumors about Henry Cavill being in Black Adam are true. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture-related items. Today, in honor of the release of Black Adam, we are doing a fancast for the Justice League or the Justice Society. I want to say of America, but I feel like it's not of America in this movie. I feel like it's just a global Justice Society.
Oh, that's cool. That's better.
I mean, they're going to other countries, so it's not of America.
True. I mean, America does like to be in other countries' business, but we don't know if that's the case.
But, you know, we're doing Team JL and Team JSA.
Yes. Nobody's heard from Gabby in days. Don't ask us where she is. We don't know. Before we get into the episode, please like, share, and subscribe because we're in this for the love of the game, but we'd love the game more if it made us money.
We'd also love the game more if people were listening.
That too. Mostly the money. Fancast Friday, in case you don't remember, because we don't do it that much anymore. If you're listening on Spotify.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, these are fun. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, you can head on over to YouTube because to me, it's putting pictures up of the actors and the characters, all that fun stuff. Also, keep in mind that this is set 3 for us of Justice League and Justice Society. Also, we don't cast characters who have already been cast in the DCEU. And I'm saying that because you're going to see the list of characters we're casting and you're going to be like, who and why did they pick them? And this is why. We've already done this twice, and DCEU has already used a bunch of people. We're running out, guys. We're scraping the DC barrel.
So if you have any suggestions, please put them down in the comments below.
Yeah. Or the lists are just going to get shorter and shorter until they stop.
Also, before we begin, rules of the game. As Dallas said, we are not allowed to cast people who have already been cast in the DCEU unless there is a good explanation for the reason why you are double casting. So, for instance, if we were doing a Marvel movie, mayhaps, and we chose to cast an actor who's already been in the Marvel Universe as Mystique, well, that would make sense. Mystique is a shapeshifter.
Exactly. Yeah. Sounds like we got the rules out the way.
Yep. So let's get started. Our first character is Ronnie Raymond, a high school student and one half of the dual identity that is Firestorm. Ronnie was in an accident that allowed him and Martin Stein to fuse into Firestorm. Ronnie is prominently in control of the Firestorm form, and his banter with Stein is an important hallmark of their stories. Dallas, you are always first. Who you got?
I am first. So, I'm a nerd. We know this. So I always look up the characters like, what can I find? What we got some personality traits, some backstory. All I really found was he's in high school, he plays football.
We're so in the lower ranks.
So I did what I always do for characters that are in high school. I look for actors who were born after the 90s, 2000 or later. And then I decided, forget that. This version's in college for me. So I went for someone who I can believe as a jock, but also can play that level of insecurity that Martin would need to manipulate. We'll come back to that. Anyway, I picked Dacre Montgomery.
Oh, Dacre.
Because
he's definitely a college student, because I'm like, he doesn't look like he could be in high school anymore,
no,
I think.
Even when he was on Stranger Things, this nigga ain't in high school.
Power Rangers.
Right. But
even though I want him back in the Power Rangers.
He's the main white in Power Rangers?
Yes.
He's the main white, yes.
Thank you.
But the Red Ranger, for those who might be confused by Colin saying the main white. He's not the White Ranger, he's the Red Ranger. They don't have a White Ranger, it's not important.
I mean, they kind of did. They hinted at one.
Well, he would have been green at that point.
Yeah, but he still becomes the White Ranger later. That's not the point. Anyway, Dacre Montgomery.
Oh, we like Power Rangers, except for Colin. He didn't have a childhood. In Power Rangers, and even kind of in Stranger Things, he has this kind of jock energy. In Stranger Things, it's more psychopath energy.
Yes.
But he can be the popular guy, the football star, the jock. Also, there's something in Billy in Stranger Things, especially later on, that I see. There's like this level of everything's not all right. Like, I feel like
he comes from an abusive household.
Exactly. And being raised in that household, I can see the level of insecurity that would lead you to try to get approval from some kid's mom, which, guys, really, that was such a, why did you guys do that?
Wild storyline. Wild.
Hated it. But
at least do it with a mom that we don't know.
Right, like, this is Mike's mom. That's not okay. What was I talking about? Dacre Montgomery. He's a good actor. He can play the jock. He can play the kind of insecure, I need validation from older people. In this one, it wouldn't be the same kind of validation because Martin Stein is super old, and that's gross. It was already gross. I'm getting off topic. But Dr. Montgomery is my Ronnie Raymond. Colin.
All right.
Matthew McConaughey, huh?
No.
What a choice.
Welcome to I Made a Fancast in 5 minutes.
5 minute Fancast with Colin.
Yeah. So shout out to people on the internet who did this for me.
Oh
Yeah.
You didn't even do it.
Well, I did it in the sense that I picked from multiple different.
Okay.
I didn't just pick, like, go to one person's Fancast and say, okay, that's great.
Gotcha.
I looked at multiple ones and I went, okay.
Okay,
Sure.
I've done that before.
So, anyway.
These are suggestions.
Yes.
Fireman, young fireman,
Young
fire
fireman.
baby, fire child, fire minor, is Ty Sheridan, because he can do superheroes.
He has done superheroes.
Yep.
He's Cyclops.
He is.
And he's Ready Player One? She's no superhero, but
that too,
he's
yeah.
that guy.
Not a fan of that one, but hey, I like him in the X-Men movies he's in, because he's in the...
Him.
I want to call them cursed because... Well, no, those aren't cursed. Are
Which
they
one?
cursed? Are they cursed by Bryan Singer?
Yes.
To an extent.
Oh, damn.
Most of them.
Well, anyway, they're still pretty cool. And he's good. And he can do superheroes, so I figured he can do a fire thing.
He can do a fire thing.
All the ones with Ty Sheridan are.
Oh, man.
He didn't direct all of them, did he?
The ones that Bryan Singer directed all the ones that Ty Sheridan are in.
Man.
Because
Well,
he's not in
wait.
First Class.
Is he in Dark Phoenix?
Yeah.
I thought the other guy directed Dark Phoenix.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Either way, curse.
Most of them.
But-
Two out of three.
Not a bad pick.
Thanks. I was going to say I try, but I don't.
You don't.
You didn't.
And what is Ty Sheridan, like 30?
I don't fucking know.
Least amount of effort.
How old do you have to be to throw fire? Whatever. Who
I'm
cares?
talking about him being in high school. Colin.
Oh, come on.
At least Dallas said his
You
was in
are
college.
not about to tell me that that's a problem that anyone would have. Anyone in the casting department would have.
No, not in the casting. They don't care.
I don't know, man. Asher Angel was cast as an actual teenager, so
They are. I think they're starting to try sometimes, depending on the project.
like all of the Shazam kids were high schoolers except for maybe the one playing the oldest daughter.
Yeah, but also like the X-Men franchise, those movies take place over the course of I think 4 decades.
Those
later
don't
on,
make sense.
and they didn't even try to age him up. So
Timelines didn't make
he's
sense.
used to it. To me, who's your Ronnie? I know you put in more effort than Colin.
I did. I have two choices. So my first choice is Matt Cornett, who is most well known for High School Musical, the musical, the series.
Every time I hear the name, I just get tired.
Why do you think I say it
By
so
the end
fast?
of it.
That and Birds of Prey, I say them so fast so that it doesn't
that's
get
a long
exhausting.
one.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy the way that he plays his character EJ. I think he's pretty underrated on that show. You were mentioning that Ronnie has a kind of an insecurity streak to him. And EJ kind of has the same thing. EJ is really desperate for people to like him and to think that he's cool and to admire him. And that often leads to him making decisions that are not the correct decision, or making decisions that end up maybe hurting the feelings of others or making them feel less wanted. Like in the most recent season of High School Musical, the musical, the series. I mean, listen, the initials aren't much better. But I was saying, in the most recent season of that show, his girlfriend comes to the camp that he's been going to for most of his life, and he ends up having to direct their summer camp play because it's a theater camp.
Right.
And he promised his girlfriend that it was going to be a really nice summer for them to spend time together. But once he gets this directing job, he kind of takes on that job. He takes it very seriously, but it's also, he takes it very seriously because he's trying to prove to his father that he can be somebody and that he can take on a leadership position and that he doesn't need to be shipped off to another state when he comes back from summer. He wants to be able to stay in his own home city so that he can be with his girlfriend.
Goodness.
So he spends the whole summer trying to make sure that he accomplishes this thing to prove himself to his father.
Yeah.
But in the midst of doing that, he also ends up neglecting his girlfriend, which loses him his relationship.
You hate to see it.
And so Matt Cornett does a great job of playing this character who is trying to balance these things of, I want this part of my life, and the only way that I can do it is if I do this. And, the insecurity that comes with that and trying to prove yourself to your father. I think that would fit very, very well. He's a very good actor. And I feel like he still looks like a teenager. He could pull off still being in high school, obviously. Although I think his character just graduated from high school on this show.
Right.
And also he kind of looks like he could probably play football. So there, we're good. And then the other actor that I have on here actually does play a high school football player on a TV show. His name is Michael Evans Belling.
Hey, I like him.
He is on All American.
Yeah.
So like I said, already plays a high school football player. And he's also a really good actor who also does the I'm really insecure and I need to prove myself to my father.
Yes.
Even though, like, I don't think Ronnie is trying to prove himself to his father. I think. But
yeah.
I don't remember. But teenage angst, man. They all do it very, very well.
He has that.
Yeah. And
he was on the CW show. He has to have it.
Exactly. If you can't do teenage angst, then you can't be on the CW. That's like a rule or something.
It's like singing for Disney.
I was just going to say.
Hit some notes.
I don't know. Not everybody hits some notes. Some of them are exceptions to the rules.
I mean, you try to hit the note. You might miss.
Yeah.
But, you know, they'll just auto-tune you and put you in a yellow dress.
Exactly. What?
No, never mind.
No, I know what you're talking about. I thought we were talking about Disney Channel. So
got you. Sorry, we cross wires.
Cross wires. Still Disney. Not the same.
Yes.
I went narrow. You were broad. But yeah, he's great. He's fantastic on All American. I think he's really good on that show. And again, like I said, really good at playing the insecure teenager who's trying to gain the attention and admiration of the people around him, especially in season 1. Not so much in the later seasons, but very much so in season 1. So I think that he would be able to pull off playing Ronnie Raymond, aka one half of Firestorm.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 choices. Next up on our list, we have Martin Stein, a Nobel Prize winning physicist, and the other half of the dual identity that is Firestorm. Since Ronnie is usually in control of the Firestorm form, Stein is the voice of reason inside the mind, giving him the ability to advise Ronnie on how to use their powers. Stein initially wasn't aware of their dual identity until, Ronnie eventually had to tell him. Like, dude, you're just blacking out and don't know what's going on. Let me help you out, player.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Martin Stein. Dallas, who'd you cast?
So the thing about DC characters is that whenever you look them up on the DC Wiki thing, there's the older version.
There's Prime Earth and there's New Earth.
Yes. Ironically,
New Earth is the old one, and Prime Earth is the new one.
Yeah. I don't know, Colin. Don't question it.
New 52, thank you.
Yeah, I went to New 52 version because it's more recent, I guess. Under his powers and abilities, it literally says deception. Martin is a skilled liar and manipulator. He played on Ronald Raymond's...
That's not a...
It is if you use it right.
No.
He played on Ronald Raymond's insecurities to transform him into Firestorm.
This is the version that you want to use? This was the decision you made?
I mean, I guess it's in his power list, so...
I needed something to go off of on who I was going to pick.
So you decided not to go with the New Earth version.
I can work with that.
So I was like, okay, I need someone who I think could influence people. Be charming, maybe be a bit menacing if he needs to.
All right.
And I need someone old. It would help if they're Jewish, because the only Stein I know is Ben Stein, and he's Jewish.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. So Jeff Goldblum. I picked Jeff Goldblum.
Okay.
We've all seen Jurassic Park.
Yes.
We know he can play a charming scientist, and he's been doing it for 30 years. And if we've seen Hotel Artemis, we know he can be a kind of menacing authority figure, playing on the insecurities of a younger man.
You saw that movie recently, actually. It was on TV.
It's a good one. And then if we've
watched that again, that was fun.
It's right.
It's a lot of fun.
It's so good. And if we've seen Ragnarok, we can know he can just do whatever he feels like, which doesn't really come into play here, but I'll take it. He was great. Jeff Goldblum's just really good. We all know him to be just, so charming. And I feel like he could probably manipulate some people with that charm of his. I'm sure if they cast him, there would be a lot of people on the internet talking, oh, he can manipulate me into being his Firestorm.
That's absolutely what would happen.
Yeah, right. And I just think that would be funny to see. But also, he's a great actor, so let's do it. Martin Stein is Jeff Goldblum in my version of this movie. Colin, who you got?
All right.
Who did the internet tell you should be Martin Stein?
See, this was a strange thing because I saw this and I was like, cool. Yeah, okay. And then I put it down and I was like, I swear I've used this person in a fan cast before, but it's not on my list, so I don't know. Where did he come up? Why were we talking about this man? I feel like it was in a fan cast. Anyway, my asshole, basically. My guy.
If that's the version you're using.
He doesn't have to be.
Well, I think he does. That's his power set.
That's only one.
He's good at deception.
That's only one version of that
He's
character.
known for deception to me.
Only in that universe.
He's known for being the worst.
Only on the Prime Earth.
Too many Earths. Anyway, I don't know exactly how to say his last name, so I'm going to do my best. He's going to be David Strathairn.
Who is that?
Who, I know him from The Expanse.
I was going to say.
Done some other stuff.
He's in Nomadland.
He's in Nomadland. He's a middle-aged white man, and that's what you need to be.
He's a very good actor.
And hey, if you say you need to be manipulative, Ashford is pretty good at being manipulative when he wants to be, so...
That's so true.
David got the chops. You can do it. Plus, I want to see lights and stuff on fire. Why not?
Why not?
I'm just saying, he didn't get to light stuff on fire in The Expanse. Maybe this is his shot. Maybe he's always wanted to.
All right, cool.
Light stuff on fire, David. You're great.
Jimmy.
Cool. So my Martin Stein would be played by Michael Sheen, who
Interesting. I can see it.
I love watching him on Prodigal Son. I miss that show. 2 pieces. I wish it had not been canceled. On Prodigal Son, there are so many like layers and aspects to that character because he's playing a sociopath or a psychopath.
One of the paths.
Yeah, we never really established which one he is. I think they were saying that he is a sociopath. If I was to go with your version, if I was going with Prime Earth, he can play the manipulation very, very well.
Yeah.
The very manipulative father figure, he does it very well on Prodigal Son. However, I would prefer to do the New Earth version, which is Ronnie saves Martin from an explosion, and the radiation from the explosion is what makes them into Firestorm. And then you have Stein not knowing that they are a dual identity.
Right.
So then it would be like half a movie where Stein just does not know that all of this is happening. But yeah, Michael Sheen is just such a great actor. He can do quirky, he can do menacing, he can pull off being like a brilliant scientist type of guy. Like, I just think that he has so much range that you can just put him in any role that is appropriate and that he would manage to pull it off. And also, you know, you need an older guy to play it, and Michael Sheen is older. But also, I feel like in the same vein as your Jeff Goldblum thing, oh, he can manipulate me any day. I feel like somebody's gonna say it.
Does he have one of those following?
I don't know, but he's got the salt and pepper, and I feel like
people do like the salt and pepper.
They like that. So, you know. And also, he doesn't have to be American. I don't care if he's American. He can even keep his actual natural accent. It doesn't matter to me. But I know that he can do it if you require it.
I'll be honest with you.
You didn't know that this man wasn't American?
No, until you said Prodigal Son. I was thinking of Martin Sheen. I was thinking of Andrew Garfield's Uncle Ben.
He also could do it, but...
And I was like, okay, I could see it. And I was like, oh, Michael Sheen. Different Sheen.
Different Sheen.
This one's name is actually Sheen, not Esteves.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I can see it.
Also, from what I hear, he's fantastic on Good Omens.
He's real good. Have you not seen it?
I've seen the first episode.
Oh, okay. Well, you can watch it. And season 2 is coming at some point next summer, I think. So, hey, you can do it.
It's funny that you brought up the, the salt and pepper, he can manipulate me thing. Because I was reminded of Jeff Goldblum's Hot Ones when he realized that people are calling him Zaddy.
Okay.
And he was like, oh, I like that.
Of course he did.
But not in like a weird, lecherous old man way, in like an intrigued, I'm fascinated with
young
the way
culture
y'all speak way. Like, oh yeah, I like that. That sounds so interesting.
Also, Michael Sheen played a villain in the Twilight movies. So, you know.
Oh snap, I forgot that's him.
Yeah, it's him.
The one, what does he do? What's his power?
He can look into your mind and see every thought that you've ever had or something like that.
Man, the faces they made him make in that movie. He was acting.
He's also in Tron Legacy. The man is a great actor, okay? He's in a lot of stuff.
Colin, Michael Sheen in Twilight, clown work or cinema?
Cinema.
Everything to do with Twilight is cinema.
Okay, now you're just making jokes. Can we move on?
No, what are you talking about? What are you
talking about?
Yeah, I agree with you from the literal definition.
Oh, he's also in Underworld.
Yes, he's a lycan or a vampire.
He's in a lot of stuff, guys. I think he's a vampire.
He likes being vampires. I respect it, man.
Next up, Jefferson Pierce, a.k.a. Black Lightning, a school teacher and principal and a vigilante with powerful bioelectric powers. As both Jefferson and Black Lightning, he fights the influence of gangs and tries to uplift his community. Jefferson has 2 meta-powered daughters, Anissa and Jennifer, with Lynn Stewart, who is often either his wife or his ex-wife. Dallas, who you got?
All right, so first things first. Colin, when I say you never tried Black Lightning, do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Thankfully, I do not.
Oh, Colin,
Young Justice.
It's your unlucky day. I'm sure I brought this up on mic before. I'm going to do it again because this is the perfect time.
I feel like because me and you talk about Young Justice so much, it had to have come up on mic before.
So there's a scene in Young Justice. Colin, are you focused? Are you with me? This is important. There's a scene in Young Justice where Black Lightning and, the team, they're fighting the bad guys. And there's, is it Livewire? I think it's Livewire.
Probably.
She is a DC Electric villain. And she's fighting Black Lightning. And she's on the
DC
ground.
Electric hero.
He is a DC Electric hero,
gotcha.
Yes. And he's on the ground and he grabs her. She says something like, my name's Livewire, you think I'm afraid of a little lightning. And in the most old school black porn sounding way possible, I think he grabs her head or something and he's like,
"You've never had Black Lightning before."
And it sounds like a blaxploitation movie. and then he zaps her.
That sounds like he's about to dig her down.
It does, right? No. And it's just the funniest thing to me that they decided to do on Young Justice. Like, why?
Yo, Young Justice is grown now, okay?
Yeah, this was when Young Justice stopped being a kid show. Like, literally.
That was the first episode where it was no longer a kid show.
I was like, what's happening? But yeah, then the internet got a hold of it. They put the Brazzers logo on. There's a whole thing. But yeah, that scene's always been hilarious to me.
Did this inspire your choice for
Well, I wanted someone who I felt like could really deliver that line in a good way.
Okay.
Why do we need that line?
Because Dallas just wants it. Dallas thinks it's hilarious.
And if I saw that in a movie, I'll be like, oh my God, they've seen Young Justice. It would be like the Leo meme of pointing to the screen. And everybody would laugh and we'd bond over it. So I needed someone talented, someone old enough to have adult daughters because obviously.
Or at least college age.
Yeah. And, someone who can deliver that line. So I got Jamie Foxx.
Ooh.
Because Jamie Foxx is in his 50s.
Another electric hero or person.
Exactly. Which, side note, I watched a YouTube video recently about the history of black superheroes and
with
electric
lightning powers.
And
it's a lot.
It is interesting. Like the history of it. It's crazy. But, you already think of Black Lightning, Black Vulcan, Static Shock, Black Lightning's kids. Like, it's a really weird
Except one of them does not have lightning powers. And
what are her powers?
Anissa doesn't have lightning powers. Hers are density.
Oh, that's cool. Shout out to mixing it up.
Jennifer has lightning powers, though.
But yeah, I'm going to find that video and send it to you guys because it's an interesting history. Yeah, Jamie Foxx is immensely talented. I think a lot of people forget that. A lot of what he does more recently is kind of just like, more fun, which still great, still talent. But like, yeah, he's a really good actor. One time he saved a dude from a burning car, apparently, which is just like a real life hero thing to do. So yeah, he can play a superhero on TV or a movie because he's done it. And just picture Jamie Foxx saying that line, "You never had Black Lightning." He would do it perfectly. It's great. Jamie Foxx for Jefferson Pierce, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone. Colin?
It's pretty good. Pretty good. I am going to do some very quick research right now.
While he's doing his research, Anissa's powers are density control. So she has the ability to increase the mass of her body while preserving volume, which effectively increases her density. Okay. That's why they call her Thunder.
Right. She got them thunder. Never mind. Colin,
did you finish your research?
Did you finish your research? I'm just saying she could increase the density of her thighs. Thunder thighs could be a thing.
Also, the density,
right?
Yeah. The density control also makes her invulnerable.
Oh, that's dope.
Because she can make herself immovable and completely invulnerable with the shift of her density.
I already have a cast in my mind for the thunder thighs thing.
That also gives her super strength and energy projection, which is how you can create massive shockwaves.
Love it.
We'll cast her eventually, guys.
All right, cool. I'll hold my. What you got, Colin?
What is it, Florence Pugh in blackface? What are you doing?
No, it's Dasha Polanco.
Yep.
You got me worried there. We're talking about thighs, and I'm like,
I know Dallas too well.
Yeah. If Gabby was here,
that's the thing is, I know Dallas well. I'm just scared.
It's Dasha Polanco. I told you.
Jesus.
Colin, who's your Black Lightning?
There's a world in which Florence Pugh does get cast, and I'm glad we don't live in that world. Anyway, my Black Lightning is, well, how do I say this? He is unfortunately not guaranteed because he's probably legally not allowed to do that. But John David Washington.
That is an interesting choice.
It's a young Black Lightning.
That man is young.
All right.
He doesn't have kids yet, that's all.
This is a
Black Lightning in his early years.
Yeah, early Black Lightning.
It's probably a good idea. I've never actually seen Black Lightning in his early years.
Did he get his powers early?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
I think he was a young man. As a young man, he was a vigilante, and then he quit for a while. He retires from vigilante work.
Oh, right.
And he gets married, has a family, and then he comes back to vigilante work in his middle age.
Yeah. I just usually only see the version of him that's already, a veteran in the game.
Yeah.
Been making guarantees for a while now. Colin, have you seen John David in anything?
Multiple things, yes.
Black Klansman.
Black Klansman and Tenet.
You saw Tenet.
And maybe other things that I can't think about, but
okay. Yeah. I didn't know if you saw that suggested and you were like, that'll work.
No, I mean, I like what I've seen of him. Tenet was whatever, but he was cool.
Oh, what's interesting? Depending on the version of Black Lightning, he has let's call it tense relationship with his ex-wife.
Ooh.
So there could be a scene where they fight and she makes him craft macaroni and cheese.
Oh, was he in that one?
Knock a memory.
Yeah, he's Malcolm.
Oh, that's a shame.
Malcolm mac and cheese.
That scene is hilarious.
Malcolm and cheese.
That scene will never not be hilarious.
But Colin, what was your actual reasoning for picking this man?
He thought it was cool.
I saw it suggested and I thought it was cool. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
That's fair.
He's a cool dude.
He's a cool dude.
And I think he'd make a cool superhero.
He could also deliver the Black Lightning line very well.
That's the criterion, apparently.
He could do it. All right. To me, what you got for us?
This one was actually kind of difficult for me because, I was thinking to myself, I need a black actor who I know is old enough that I would believe that he is the father to teenagers or college-age students.
Right.
Or it's close enough to that age where, like, in the next few years, by the time you make a sequel, daughter can be in med school or whatever. I personally do not like casting anyone that's already been in a Marvel movie.
Right.
To be in a DC movie because I just feel like that's cheating. You've already been a superhero, somebody else's turn.
I mean, they do it.
They do. I don't like it. I broke my rule this time though. Because I felt like he was used so little in Black Panther that I could get away with it and he could play a superhero. Sterling K. Brown.
Got it.
Because Sterling K. Brown is a very, very talented actor. So talented that it's like he's great in Black Panther for the short amount of time that he is on screen. But it is a very minor character. So I can go cast you as a superhero in some other role. It's kind of like the reason why I'm okay with Lawrence Fishburne like being double casted in Marvel and DC because it's like you're in minor enough roles that like whatever.
Yeah, Perry White. No one cares.
Yeah. Like I don't want to see Scarlett Johansson in a DC movie.
I get it.
You've been a prominent superhero already. Let somebody else have a shot.
Listen, they might need to cast a tree or something and then she can do it.
I was going to say Katana, but they already did her.
Or unless they want to cast her as Siri or something like that. Fine. But Sterling K. Brown is such a talented actor. I've never watched This Is Us, but he gets so much acclaim for that show. Mm-hmm. I know on that show he plays a father because they go through multiple periods of their lives on that show. I think that he can pull off being the caring father of two young women. Also, I feel like there's something about Sterling K. Brown where maybe it is because of This Is Us. He comes off as the kind of actor who can always play these very upstanding gentleman type of characters.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Jefferson is. Jefferson is very much the good guy. He's the guy in the neighborhood who's trying to save the hood. But he does it in a way where like, I'm a school principal, I'm a school teacher type of way.
I have a new idea.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
I might get this wrong, but I think
But are you changing one of your casting?
Yes.
Okay.
Based on her description. This will probably have to get cut out because I don't think we use last names here, but I'm casting Steve. Thank you very much.
We're casting Dallas's dad.
That's funny because in Waves, Sterling K. Brown is basically playing my dad already.
There you go. I've won. I just.
You know he can do it.
I know he can do it. Yeah, just Sterling K. Brown comes off as the actor that we've seen play these types of roles before where he's the upstanding guy, he's the nice guy, the good guy who wants to fight for the right thing and for justice and all those sorts of things. Black Lightning is that dude in the hood. And he's also a character who occasionally might make the wrong decisions in honor of, or the wrong personal decisions and sacrifice those personal needs in order to be a superhero, which, impacts his family life. That's often the reason why him and his wife end up getting divorced, because his superhero life comes before much of anything else. So yeah, I think Sterling K. Brown would be a fantastic actor to put in this role. And like I said, he's been in a superhero movie before, but he didn't actually get to play a superhero. And I feel like this would be the one where he would play it really, really well. It was also really, really hard for me to figure out an actor who I thought could live up to the performance that was done on the Black Lightning TV show.
That guy was really good. I don't remember his name.
Because even though I didn't watch that show all the way to completion, I watched a couple seasons and I thought that Cress Williams was amazing as Black Lightning.
He was good. From what I saw, I also didn't see the whole show, but I saw a couple. I was like, this guy's doing his thing.
Yeah, I was like, I got to get an actor who can live up to that. And I think Sterling K. Brown can definitely live up to that. There are some like TV show iterations of the characters where I'm like, ooh, I got to find an actor that's going to live up to my liking of that portrayal.
Yeah, because man, Grant Gustin is such a good Barry Allen.
He's so good.
He's so charming. I love him.
Yeah, it's not like, when we had to recast Green Arrow, because I was like, yeah, no, this is fine.
But also,
I was like, I'll recast that real quickly. But The Flash, Grant is so good.
Also, now I want to see Black Lightning in his car rapping along to Nuck If You Buck.
You know what? I can't believe I didn't mention Honk for Jesus Save Your Soul. That man's performance is incredible in that movie. And if you haven't seen it, you should. It's on Peacock. If it's not, still in theaters. Oh my gosh. That man, because he is both incredibly funny and also really good in the dramatic scenes.
Yes.
You remember how Yaya said that superhero work is clown work?
He said Aquaman specifically, though.
Okay. Sure. I feel like when you're doing these superhero roles, you have to be willing to just give your all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just have to be willing to do the things that may look stupid on the day, but in the theater, it's not going to look stupid.
Right.
It's like when Elizabeth Olsen said shooting some of the stuff for Endgame was embarrassing.
Of course, you're doing all this hand stuff. Nothing's happening.
Yeah. Like, you have to be willing to do that. That's clown work.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be willing to give your all. Sterling K. Brown, based off of Honk for Jesus Save Your Soul, can definitely do that.
100%.
So yeah, that is my choice for Black Lightning. We are going to move on to our last character of the podcast, which is Ted Grant, a boxer who was framed for the death of his opponent and became Wildcat to fight back. After hearing about the Green Lantern, he was inspired to become a vigilante. He's been a combat instructor to Batman and a mentor and father figure to Black Canary after being close friends with her mother. Dallas, who you got?
So yes, Ted Grant he's old and he got hands.
Old?
Those are his characteristics for the most part.
Yep.
So I needed someone who's old enough to be a mentor to Journey's Black Canary.
Yes.
And someone who got hands. So we're going from Black Lightning to Black Dynamite because I picked Michael Jai White.
That's a good one. I
Right?
did not even think of that.
Michael Jai White is in his 50s, so definitely old enough to be the mentor, father figure. Also, for those who don't know, he does 9 different styles of martial arts.
He's amazing. Actually, he was who I wanted to play Black Panther before we got a Black Panther.
Oh, okay. I've seen a lot of different fan casts for him because he's so good at
Yeah, it was
fighting and acting.
It was like Black Panther or Luke Cage. Like, pick one.
He has voiced Bronze Tiger before in something animated. I don't remember which thing it was.
I think it was that Batman movie, wasn't it?
Probably Batman.
The one that looks like a 70s
Soul
flick.
of the Dragon, I think. Yeah, it really lit. I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, one of his styles of fighting is boxing. And he's played Mike Tyson before. So he has experience boxing on film and in real life. Who better to play Wildcat than the guy who looks like he eats victory, if you've ever seen this man, and can beat you up in almost 10 different ways? It's Black Dynamite. He's great. Just Michael Jai White. Put him in something. Put him in this. This is the thing to put him in. Wildcat. Do it. Colin.
Me.
Who is your cat?
So basically, I looked him up and I was like, he's old. And that was
Yes.
what I went with. And I was like, he's old and he needs to be able to do action-y things because he was a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, I need someone old who can do action-y things. So I'll just go with Arnold Schwarzenegger and call it a day. Because he can do action-y
He does action-y things.
That is what he's known for.
Yes.
So plus why not have him play a superhero? There's an action hero in there of some sort.
Yeah, he's been in action. He's like one of the quintessential action heroes.
Yeah.
He old.
The old.
He's 75. Goodness gracious.
I don't think that's stopping him.
I mean, he's still playing the Terminator, so yeah, I guess
Yeah, he's
not.
still doing all that. What was his name in the new one? He had like a regular name in Dark Fate.
What?
Oh,
He was like
Bob?
adopted.
I'm sorry, what? They named the Terminator Bob?
No,
Carl. He was Carl.
Carl.
He was Carl.
Carl. They named the Terminator Carl.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He started, he had a nice little life, became a family man. He was raising this woman's son with her.
I was going to say,
Texas.
how did he...
He had a drapery business.
Okay, but he didn't produce any kids.
No,
No.
he can't do that. He's just all
I was
machinery.
going to ask, right? Like, if you can turn to liquid, what else can you do?
He's not the stepdad. He's the dad that stepped up.
Yeah, exactly.
Hate you.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah, I feel like he could play an old boxer who needs to do old boxing things.
Why not?
Yeah.
All right. He old. To me, who's your Wildcat?
I'm sorry. I just can't get past you. Yeah, he's old. Like, dang, bruh. I mean, yes, you're right.
That's what Colin wanted. He said he's old.
I know.
Got the oldest actor who can still do action movies.
I got a close second.
Oh, okay.
I did, because I looked at Ted Grant. I don't know what I was doing. I was working on this Fancast and I was looking for actors for this, and I came across Ron Perlman.
Yo.
And
that's
was like,
great.
Yeah, Ron Perlman could definitely be Ted Grant. Because as we've been saying, he's an older character.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, because Black Canary is my favorite DC character, I'm just like, for my purposes, in my mind, you are just her mentor. I don't care about anything else you've done in the DC universe. You are her mentor. Like you said, I had to find somebody who was old enough to be Journey Smollett's trainer, mentor.
Yeah.
And somebody who could be good friends with her mom, because he's one of the original members of the JSA.
This is true.
Because Dinah Drake was one of the original members of the JSA. Dinah Lance is her daughter. So yeah, Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman is a great actor. He's really good at doing the tough guy roles.
It's true.
He's so good at those.
He's
like,
a tough guy voice and face.
Yeah, he's worked with DC a lot, doing voice work for them.
Slay.
Didn't he do Clayface as well for Batman the Animated Series?
He did Clayface.
So, and he's a pretty big dude whenever you see him. He just seems like he looks kind of intimidating, and maybe that's just because of the roles that I've seen him play. I loved him on Sons of Anarchy. He's amazing on Sons of Anarchy. And I feel like he could pull off that mentorship role. It's been a while since I don't know if I've seen him in a mentor role in a while.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. He has the voice that makes you want to listen to him.
Absolutely.
So like every role he does, I just feel like he's a mentor. I don't know that he actually is.
And it's got to be somebody who can go like toe to toe with the amount of sass that Jurnee Smollett's Black Canary has.
Right.
Because Dinah's got a mouth on her, and you need somebody who's going to command respect from her, even though he's also a father figure to her. So, I mean, probably you don't have to demand too hard. But
right.
If it's been years since she's seen you, then yeah, probably. This Dinah probably does have to be demanded some respect from. And I think Ron Perlman, he has that domineering energy, I guess, is what I would use.
All right. Interesting choice.
He has that powerful energy of like, I'm going to command your respect.
It's Dom energy.
No.
You said
domineering.
Oh, domineering. Got it. That's what Dom is short for, domineering, right, Colin?
I have no comment on this. My place is not, this is not my business.
You're the English major. It's literally this is a word question.
I'm not gonna do this for you.
Whatever.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm coming to you, my English degree having
you can
friend.
Slam your own dunk.
That's just rude.
Slam your own dunk. I'm just saying, you're an English major. I go to you for a word question. Like, I would think you'd be happy to get some money's worth out of that degree.
I am getting money's worth out of that degree.
Exactly. Get a little bit more on the side and answer my question.
Are you paying me?
We'll talk about that later.
Can I start charging you every time I answer a grammar question? Like, what you talking about?
Also, last minute addition to my casting choice because I really like this one. Jimmy Smits.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, because I really wanted to find a Latinx Ted Grant. I don't know why. I just really did.
All right.
And Jimmy Smits is great in everything. Star Wars. He was also on Sons of Anarchy.
That's true.
Dexter. And he's also really good at playing like fatherly figures. He's actually fantastic at playing fatherly figures now that I'm thinking about it. It's like I feel like all three of the things that I listed off are fatherly figures. Even on Dexter, even though he kind of goes a little murder crazy.
Oh.
It's a very interesting season. I think he's in season 2.
Oh, wait, he's on In the Heights.
Yes.
Is he the one that was like, don't worry about discrimination, read these books?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him.
That would be cool too if we could get, because Ted Grant is Black Canary's mentor and she works on a team with Batgirl, if we could get Leslie Grace's Batgirl.
To me?
Yes.
I love you, but I'm a little worried. You're starting to sound like the Snyder people.
No.
Release the Batgirl.
Right?
Here's the thing.
Release the Batgirl.
Here's the thing.
Just in general.
I've come to terms that I will probably never see the Batgirl movie. However, I am a firm belief that they ought to give Leslie Grace the chance to reprise the role in a different
because they can
DC.
still use her, right?
Yeah.
She's not a tax write-off.
Yeah, she's not a tax write-off.
They didn't write off Leslie Grace on their taxes.
It's like, I want to make an emancipation joke. I can't quite. We'll figure it out.
I'm fully of the belief that like she should get a chance to be the DCEU Batgirl, even though they're not releasing her movie. Like if you make another Birds of Prey movie and you actually get the actual Birds of Prey team together, then she should be Batgirl. Or she should at least be the first person to get a choice as to whether or not she should be Batgirl.
Right.
Give me Jimmy Smits, Ted Grant, Jurnee Smollett, Dinah Lance, and Leslie Grace, Batgirl. And then I get an In the Heights reunion from Leslie Grace and Jimmy Smits.
Don't worry about the Joker. Read these books.
No, that's J.K. Simmons.
Oh, yeah, that's his daughter. I think it's funny that when Colin picked Arnold Schwarzenegger, it just made me think of how Sylvester Stallone is an old boxer. And like, I didn't even think about him.
Yeah.
And he's the same age as Schwarzenegger, and he's an action hero. And I'm just like, man, like that.
Stallone would also be a good choice.
That's the thing. Is
if
like,
you wanted to be like, yo, it's a Rocky reference. Let's just make
right,
Rocky.
like, yo, a dude playing an old hero, old boxer, like Sylvester Stallone was made. This is what he's doing in Creed. He's a mentor character. Like, I can't believe I missed that one. Sometimes
we just want to divert from that, though. That's just easy pickings.
That was easy. It was so easy, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
But also, Black Dynamite.
But yeah, those are all the people that we've got on today's list.
We did it.
Do we need a director? Do we?
No, I did that in set 1. It's going to be the same. Still Brad Bird and written by Bruce Timm, but as long as he doesn't get weird about it.
As long as that's in the contract as an asterisk. As long as he doesn't get weird about it.
Yeah. We enjoy your writing.
No Batman, Batgirl.
No, yeah. We actually wrote Batgirl off on our taxes, so you can't use her.
Also, our Batgirl's like in her 20s, and our Batman's in like his 50s. So let's not.
I mean, that's better than what they did in the cartoon.
Is it?
She was in college.
What they do in the cartoon? How old is Bruce though?
That's a good question.
Bruce is like in his 20s, I would assume.
No, he's not in his 20s because he raised Dick, and Dick was like 8 or 10.
In The Killing Joke?
Colin, what? Do you have something to say?
Come on, the jokes write themselves.
His name is, he raised Richard.
He did.
I'm just saying she raised Dick. And then he,
Okay, we're done.
She raised something, all right. Well, okay. Because he did raise Richard.
This is going to get John. He's Richard Grayson.
Richard Grayson.
He did raise Robin. And
yes.
And Batman was in
that's too vague.
And he raised all the Robins. And Batman was in like his second or third year. Mm-hmm. So he had to be like 27, 28 when Dick was like 10 or 11, 12. So he's like in his 30s.
Let's say 30s. Let's say like, maybe.
Yeah, he's in like his 30s and she's in her 20s. That's not worse than her being in her 20s and him being in his 50s. It's bad, but it's not worse.
Either way, it's weird. Bruce, don't do it.
Both Bruces, don't do it.
Yeah. Well, that took a turn.
It always does.
It always does. I blame Colin. Anyway.
I'm sorry. Who brought up Bruce Timm being weird? Was that me?
Want to
no,
blame
was that me?
you.
No. Was that me?
I didn't say I'm justified in blaming you.
Why would you blame me for this?
Because you can.
I don't want to blame myself.
You're right here.
You were the one to blame.
Yeah, anyway, but I don't want to say it.
You dug your own grave.
Let's finish out this podcast, please.
Goodness gracious, a grave. Thank you, audience, for taking this ride with us, going on all the turns.
It started normal, and it got weird.
Normal. We like everything we do. I blame Colin. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Crown Digital, Brandon, and IO for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. To me, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube, actually knowing these characters, and, trying.
I try.
Colin, thank you for casting these characters that you've probably never heard of.
I've watched a few episodes of Legends of Tomorrow, so I was at least familiar with Firestorm as a concept.
Got it.
But yeah.
Interesting. He might be I don't know if he's the most obscure now that he's been on live action TV. Wildcat's probably the most obscure now. Doesn't matter.
Wildcat is definitely the most obscure now because he doesn't get a lot of action in the live action territory.
Live action. Anyway, what do you guys think of our picks? Who would you pick? That's what we want to know. Tell us who you would pick.
Let us know in the comments down below.
Let us know in the comments down below or hit us on Twitter. We heard an ominous noise, sorry. Hit us on Twitter at y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, or Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC. These noises, what's happening outside? If you want to talk about that Black Lightning scene, because I find it hilarious, I'm going to try to hurry up and get through this before the roving marauders outside come in here. Find me on Twitter and/or Instagram at a king named Simba.
If you want to talk to me about
goodness, Colin.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Talk to me about something. On Twitter at
Oh man, if you guys want to talk to me about how Joni Smollett is the most accurate on-screen live-action iteration of Black Canary, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dreamy Films. Dreamy is spelled DREEMI. If you don't agree with that assessment, you're wrong. Thanks again for joining us. Tune in next time. We will be talking about Black Adam.
Black Adam. Speaking of black, you can find Gabby on Twitter at Hit Me With That Black Lightning. Black is all caps. I don't think that matters on Twitter, but she wanted me to tell you that it's all caps. All right. This has been different. Bye.
Bye.
I don't have a tag.
That entire Batman Batgirl conversation should probably be a tag.
It felt like one.
It did.